May na-realize ako, iba na bago.
Ano?
Kailangan natin i-update yung stock photo natin.
That's true. Well, what's wrong with our stock photo? That's just a year old.
Si Bak mukhang may cerebral palsy dun sa picture natin eh. Init ng panahon, di ba? Kahit umuulan, mainit pa rin.
Sorry.
All right, so I'm going to be sharing this on...
Hi.
Are we live now? Always, we are surprised that we are live. And last week...
Ano nangyari nga pala last week?
Last week, magano na tayo. We were taken to school by Joey Storm.
Oo. So iba? Tuloy ba yung tunay na rider party list?
Hindi, Joey Storm party list yun, pare. Taga-support lang tayo.
Turuan ko ngayon na ipapangalan yung party list.
No, but really, there has to be an advocate for motorcycle rights because we are the most marginalized of all of the commuters, no? Somebody's got to step up and dahil wala tayong representation, that's why people keep on taking advantage and
punching bag tayo.
Oo.
Uy, sa balita, 'di ba si Manny Pacquiao nagpasa yata ng bill?
Yeah, I think I think it was sila yung Motorcycle Rights Organization that lobbied for
Gilbert.
it.
Gilbert.
Sila Yob.
Yeah.
I think next week we should talk about it. I haven't read the law yet, though. Kasi nakaka-depress minsan magbasa ng batas eh. Kasi we pay these people to make these rules, pero parang hindi nila ginagawa yung homework nila eh.
Yun. Kasi alam mo iba, stress kasi yung mga lawmakers natin eh.
Bakit? Hindi makatravel?
Wala kasi silang OGAWA sa bahay nila.
Ayun. Smooth segue.
Tagal ko pinaghahandaan yan.
That's a good one, Jolly. Oh, Buck, parang tahimik ka.
Nakamute si Buck. Hello, what's up?
Sakto, yung summer heat hack episode natin, may bagyo. Galing natin, pare. Yan ang ultimate hack.
Di ba? How to beat the heat during a tropical depression.
Minessage ako ni Jay Tarok. Sabi niya, dapat rainy season hacks na tayo. Pero hindi pa siya tag-ulan. It's still freaking hot. Man, we still need to talk about, and we live in a tropical country, so we still gotta talk about tropical heat hacks.
Yun. Pero iba, alam mo yung kailangan natin pag-usapan muna bago magsimula ang episode.
Ano?
Yung sponsor natin, Podmetrics.
Yun.
Kasi alam mo, ang Podmetrics, yun? That's the best way to monetize a podcast. So, kung podcaster kayo, potential podcaster, or mga taong gusto mag-advertise sa podcast, pumunta kayo sa podmetrics.co. So marami tayong mga features for both content creators and advertisers. So punta kayo sa Podmetrics.
You know, that's what we use to see how well our podcasts are doing. And it's also what we use to coordinate with our partners, like Lazada.
Yun. Alam mo, iba, nakakagulat nga na. Lumabas yung mga natin. Yung gamit natin ng Podmetrics, tapos parang lumabas uy, may nanonood pala nung palabas natin.
Oh, speaking of Lazada, check out our Lazada 66 Código. Lahat ng mga deals using GCash, PayMaya, GrabPay, BDO, etc., etc. Lahat ng mga premyo, you can check it out on the Tunay na Rider Lazada Código. And we will share that on our page.
6-6 mid-year sale, no? Grabe, iba, umuulan ng mga discount, oh.
20%.
And-
Laki ah.
Oo. And speaking of Lazada, we've also got one of the biggest brands in the country, motorcycle brands, KTM. So mga katunay, are you thinking of investing in high-quality motorbikes? We at
Yay.
Tunay na Rider, we only go for trusted brands like KTM. Their top-of-the-line motorcycles are suitable for street and off-road race competitions as well as casual riding. So you can make sure na kahit ano pa ang trip mo, you are always ready to race.
To get hands on your KTM powerwear and accessories, visit their flagship store and last mall
Bak, masyadong bokeh yung camera mo.
at www.lazada.com
Yo.
ph/shop/KTM-Philippines.
May KTM, may shop sa Lazada ang KTM. Tapos kita mo, yung magdibak, oh. Yung
Parang-
top ni Iba.
Mas masarap ang kape pag nandito nakalagay.
Tignan mo yung binigay sa akin, no? Tignan mo, available dun sa Lazada. Oh. Liit, oh. Kasyang-kasya sa motorsiklo. Pero, 1 litro kasyang tubig, oh. Nag-expand, oh. Sa KTM pa. Oh.
Nice.
And that is perfect for riding in the heat. And to walk us through it, we've got Doc Rolly, one of our
Hydrate
karide
tayo.
sa Hombres. And we've also got Boyet, who's the founder of Comtech, who's creating heat solutions for tropical countries. And this guy's pretty freaking... He's probably the coolest guy on motorcycles here in the Philippines.
Hindi heat solutions, Iba. I think it's like
Cooling solutions.
cooling solutions.
Comfort and cooling solutions. Hey, Doc Rolly, thanks for joining us.
Hi. Glad to be here, Iba. Thank you for having me.
Always. And
What's
super thanks for saying you'll join last minute. Because we realized we
We
had
should
no
get-
idea what we were talking about.
Parang na-Indian ako ni Doc Triggs at saka ni Doc Francis.
Oo nga. Parang ikaw
Kasama
yung
ba sila
ano.
dapat?
Meron,
Ewan
tayo,
ko.
representative si Doc Rolin ng Hombres Doctors.
Pero may support naman tayo from the Hombres. Si Ruel
Ayun.
Maranan. Good to see you, Doc Rolly. He can surely cool down hot topics. Yan.
Ayan.
Really?
Uy,
Daming
hot topics yan?
Dami nagpapabate, Ibo. O pinsan ko. Dennis Alarcon. Greetings
may
daw
pinsan
from
ka.
Australia. Oo, may pinsan ako. Palahan mo.
Siguro, baka, I'm sure in Australia, they can use the tips that Doc Rolly and Boyet will be sharing today.
Uy, baka may
nako.
tips din yung mga taga-Australia. Yan sila Dennis. Kasi sanay na sanay sa initan.
Yun.
Well, ang problema ngayon sa Australia, winter ngayon dun eh. Medyo negative ngayon. yung
Palamig doon
temperatures
ngayon.
dun.
Palamig doon.
Hey, Boyet, again, thanks for
Yo.
joining us. And it was great seeing you earlier. I'll share why we socially distanced. We met socially distantly? Ano ba yung tamang ano nun? Anyway, but
Socially
yeah,
distantly. Yeah.
met. I'm super psyched to talk about that. And yeah, so we're gonna be talking about the top 10. Ay, Jolly, ikaw pala to.
Ayun, oo. Na si Ibe. Magpag-uusapan natin yung official top 10 heat hacks brought to you by OGAWA.
Yun.
10 yan. 10 yung top 10 na yan.
Sampung top 10.
May translation. Sampu yung top 10. And we're gonna break it down into 4 buckets. No? And the first bucket is gear. Obviously, that's the easiest to do. Lahat tayo mahilig mag-shopping. Remember, it's Lazada 66. And, syempre, gear, they look cool. You want to. A lot of people, new riders, make mistakes at the kind of gear they buy, and even experienced riders, no. Like last night during our tech rehearsal, see Doc Rolly and Boyet kind of blew my mind with the medical and technological background about some of the gear we use. So the pinaka basic is your jacket, right? Number one, getting a mesh jacket or a riding jersey and pads. Yeah.
Alam mo,
Javi.
iba pagdating sa gear, ito kasi di naman tayo lahat may medical or technical background. Pagdating sa gear, sa tingin ko, dalawa lang naman talaga ang pinaka major factors na take in consideration karamihan ng mga riders. Which is parang forma at saka presyo. Kaya maraming nadidisgrasya between okay ba to, okay ba yan, ay maganda tingnan to sa salamin, pero paglabas mo dun sa tindahan na hindi aircon, yari.
That's true. Like a lot of people, they'll buy a wax canvas jacket that is not for the Philippines, diba? Yung mga maporma na jacket. So ako, personally, for the longest time, I've always used mesh jackets, and that is until today. So mesh, as opposed to leathers, it's cool, it's open, the air flows through you, but may mga challenges, diba? And Doc,
Yun.
you were sharing last night. There's some challenges with just wearing a mesh jacket.
Well, one of the biggest challenges there is using more water compared to using textile or even leather jackets. You have to drink more when using mesh jackets because, well, in our weather, you perspire a lot, and faster flow of air through the mesh jacket will increase evaporation and evaporation quickly. So that's the.
So you may be
Basically,
cooler, but
malamig ka.
you could dehydrate faster.
You can dehydrate
Malamig
faster.
malamig yung balat mo kasi natutuyo ka.
See Richard Bolt from Japan. Hello from Japan. Trick question for Doc Rolly. Is blue a cool color?
Oh, definitely. Compared to the hot color orange, it's orange represents fire.
May kakampi ka ngayon, Jolly.
Depende kasi pag-usapang apoy tayo, syempre. Pag-usapang apoy, ang blue mas mainit eh.
Oh yeah, blue flame.
All right. So, I was thinking about where we would place this, but I figured let's get Boyet into the mix right away. And he has, and I'm a geek, and I like making things, but Boyet has taken this to another level. Boyet has he's one of the founders of Comtech, and they're creating comfort, ergonomic, safety solutions for the Philippines. And, we've been talking about it, and I've been talking with Boyet for the last couple of months, but to see is to believe. And when he dropped by earlier with this
Uy, ganda niya na.
Uy, camouflage siya.
limited edition Comtech
nawala,
jacket,
nawala si Iba. Nakakamo.
Nasaan na si Iba?
limited edition Comtech jacket, and I put it on and turned it on. Pare, grabe. Napamura ako. Ang
teka lang,
lamig.
Ano ba muna yung Comtech na jacket? Anong meron
Sir
dyan?
Boyet.
Bakit may tina-turn on?
Ha?
Yan.
Ayan, nato-turn on na si Jolly.
Comtech actually stands for comfort protection. Comfort and protection. Kasi lahat ng jacket, di ba? Comtech. Okay. Kasi lahat ng jacket na lahat ng safety gear actually is only addresses one issue palagi. The emphasis is always on protection, di ba? So, yung comfort kasi hindi yung naging malaking issue sa sa design ng mga jackets sa to. Kasi Yung mga known brands are either designed in Europe or the United States or in Japan. These are cold places. Okay? Pero pag dinala mo yan dito sa Pilipinas or other tropical countries, is a different ballgame. Ang init talaga dito. So that's why that's where the inspiration from Comtech came in. Actually, it was my natural aversion to discomfort that triggered that. When I started riding again 4 years ago, paglabas ko sa traffic, doon ko na-realize kung bakit ayaw ko nagmumotor kasi napakainit talaga. Anyway, so, yun nga, and like it was earlier mentioned, I'm a tinkerer. So, going back in 2008, I was already toying around with that idea. The proof of concept that the first prototype of this jacket was actually developed 2008 pa. But I launched it 2018. Kasi, 2008, you're working, raising family, etc. Later on, when you had a little more time, tapos I started riding a motorcycle, I decided to take that thing out of the baul and work on it. So I did the patent research first. Okay, I hired a patent lawyer to do the research. Then we found out na worldwide, wala pa palang gumagawa. So we filed the patent and launched the product. Encountered a bit of difficulty in the first year with quality and delivery because we were trying to do it here in the Philippines. But now we've sourced two ISO certified companies to manufacture for us. So we have like Zach said, a global standard product right now that we're at par with the global brands. Plus, we're the only one with a cooling system.
All right. So the cooling system is what blew my mind. So we were talking about it, and in my mind, it was just having a couple of fans built into your jacket. But it isn't. It feels much cooler than that. And I always thought it was because you could see the fans when I've seen my friends using it. It was a mesh jacket, but it isn't. And it kind of connects to what we were talking about earlier, what Doc Raleigh was saying. How does it work?
Actually, Dr. Obi also mentioned it earlier. No? Our body's natural cooling mechanism is sweating, perspiration. Okay? When the sweat evaporates, as we know, evaporation is Doc, tama ba yan? Exothermic ba? Endothermic yung reaction. Meaning it takes heat from the environment. Diba? Kaya pag pinawisan ka, it is the process of your sweat evaporating that actually takes away the heat from your body. Okay? So ngayon, pagka tumapat ka sa electric fan, that process is accelerated. Okay? So a larger amount of heat is taken out of your body in a shorter period of time. So what we did with Complex, how it works really is it just enhances your body's natural cooling mechanism. By keeping air flowing around your body, even if you're stopped on the bike, mas enhance yung cooling mo. Yeah, and difference yung mainit, tumapat ka sa electric fan, tapos walis ka sa electric fan, Comtech has constant electric fans moving air around your body.
And how does the air flow? Because it feels like it's amplified. It's not just like these 2-3 fans nakatutok in specific areas. You can feel the coolness kind of around your core.
We manage the airflow by using non-permeable kasi yun nga counterintuitive di ba the natural the go-to solution talaga for your cooling jackets are mesh o yung mga binubuksan mo na vents sa ganyan, etc. Okay. But we call that passive cooling. They only work when you're moving because the air does not move around your body. Comtech uses what we call the active cooling system. Simply put, it's just fans that move air around your body. So what we did actually is, sa lugar na gumamit kami ng mesh, minanage namin, dinimit namin yung number of openings. Okay? Yung jacket mo, kita mo may opening dito, ganyan lang. So tapos yung di ba nung sinuot mo, I tightened the waistband. Kasi what we want to do is control the airflow na yung pumapasok sa front pocket mo, goes around your body. Okay? Ito yung fan. Okay, meron pang liner sa loob yan. So it blows air into the liner around your jacket. Kaya kita mo lumalabas dito, etc. Di ba? That's how we do it. Okay. hindi namin ginawitan ng mesh. Kasi pag nag-mesh ka, doon lalabas yung hangin. Hindi iikot sa katawan mo.
So,
Pero ito, di ba?
yan. Si Jolly yung engineer.
Ang downside lagi ng mesh is, okay, mahal, pumapasok nga ang hangin, pero, local area lang, hindi kumakalat yung lamig. Tubig, ito yung problema kasi medyo exposed kayo sa environment if ever. So, tubig, pumapasok din. So, does that mean na yung si Comtech, kahit may mga intake siya, does it protect you better than a mesh pagdating sa wet weather?
I rode my jacket from in pouring rain from Lucena to Santo Tomas, Batangas. Didn't even bother to put on my rain gear. Kasi yun nga, parang wax coated siya, fully waterproof yung dalawang models namin eh. And I think on our website we've shown videos of our fans being tortured with water to the point na inilubog na namin sa tubig yung fan. It still work.
Yun. So, si Jolly, if you guys probably don't know this, he's a mechanical engineer. And he actually works on, like, before in his previous life, last year, he was working on ducting and actually how air flows in big buildings, diba?
Ducting tsaka fire protection iba. So, I manage heat, pero medyo mas extreme kinds of heat yung ginagawa namin dun.
So, it's not simply just fans blowing air, it's actually channeling air around your body. And that's what blew me away. Kasi I know what a fan feels like, but having the coolness radiate around my body, that blew my mind. And you gotta try it out, guys, to really feel the impact.
Yun.
All right, so that is one of the solutions, and Sir Boyd is also working on another one, but we'll get into that in the next one. Number 3, you have to have a well ventilated and sun protected helmet. What does that mean? So I've got 2 helmets that I use regularly.
Alam mo, iba, yan yung isang problema rin. Kasi helmet yan yung pinakamapormang bagay sa ulo mo eh. So, marami tayong kapwa riders. Well, aminado naman din, medyo ako rin. Binibili natin ng helmet based sa forma eh.
Ha?
Ako hindi. Well, okay.
Ako lately ko na-realize talaga. Na-realize ko talaga lately, nung nagko-commute ako araw-araw, napansin ko, from QC to Makati, mga 80% of the time, against the light ka. Tapos yung helmet ko noon, alam mo yung mga hipster na helmet na old school, yung mga malalaki yung bubble yung visor.
Oh.
Tapos yung mukha ko lang nasa sunburn. So yun, parang normal sunrise lang yun ah. So parang doon ko na-realize na parang shit, yung helmet medyo, alam mo yun, may mga kailangan pa akong factors na i-consider.
Payong, dala kang payong.
No, but I mean, okay, so there are a lot of Maporma helmets. The first thing you gotta look at is it's gotta have vents, right? It's gotta have vents. So my go-to for long rides,
Iba, it's gotta have
really
closable vents.
So the Touratech Aventuro, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 vents that go through it. And I also leave this slightly open most of the time, right? Plus, it's got a visor system. Ito yung pang long ride ko. Definitely one of the most comfortable long ride helmets that I have. Ngayon, pag city, dati, nag-half face ako. Pero, pagdating sa half face, it's not as safe. You really want to have, I mean, and a lot of things can happen in traffic and with a lot of people. So I went with this, yung LS2. It's still got 6 vents, but it's got this massive opening in the middle that channels air.
Mas malamig.
Mas malamig. Ito yung pang traffic ko.
Isa pang na-realize ko din pagdating sa helmet. So nasa sunburn lagi yung mukha ko. So bumili ako ng visor na yung visor na yung mga tinted, yung mga reflectorized tas tinted, so di nakikita yung mukha mo. Okay siya sa umaga. Perfect talaga sa umaga. Ang problema, pag gabi na, tas pauwi na ako,
Wala ka na makita.
I can't see shit. Kasi talagang wala ka talaga makita kahit well-lit yung area. So
But-
yun yung parang dalawang factors
Yeah.
na maglalaban eh.
So those are the basic tips of helmets we can find. But see, Sir Boyet, he wasn't happy with what was available. So he kind of looked around for other helmets that are kind of cooler than your normal helmet.
Okay. Kasi nga, di ba, malamig na nga yung katawan ko, naiinitan pa rin yung ulo ko. So when I was working on my own design of the helmet. So, of a cool helmet. Pero nga, as part of my development process, we do patent research muna to find out what's already out there. Okay, kasi baka mamaya magde-develop kami isang product, pero na palang gano'n, sayang lang yung effort, sayang lang yung gastos, di ba? So we did a patent search for an air-conditioned helmet, and we came up with this.
May electric pan din yan?
No, this is actually a Peltier cooled, thermoelectric cooled helmet. Yeah, si Mr. Cool. Okay,
Mr.
the brand is Feher. Okay, this is called the Feher ACH1. It is advertised as the world's first air-conditioned motorcycle helmet. Now, how it works is there's a thermoelectric cooling chip here in the back. Those air in sa vent. Okay, padaan doon sa chip yung ambient air. Lalamig ng konti yon, then iikot niya doon sa headliner. So kumakalat dito yung lamig sa ulo mo. Then the hot air is vented here. Yes.
Tsaka
Yeah. Go on.
ang Peltier device, alam ko kasi ang Peltier, siya eh. Pag nagbigay ka ng current sa kanya, fixed na temperature difference ang binibigay niya eh. So, hindi siya nag-overcool.
Hindi.
So, kunwari,
the higher
30 degrees ngayon, mag-drop siya ng mga 5 degrees, 25. Pag 25 ngayon, mag-drop siya ng mga 20.
Nako,
Hindi siya, hindi siya sobrang
na tayo dito. Yeah, well, actually, medyo in a tropical country, medyo bitin siya. So, kung yung helmet lang yung gagamitin mo, medyo marginal yung cooling sa ulo mo, tapos mainit yung katawan mo, talo. But yun nga, when used in combination with our product, with Comtech, actually malaking nilalamig ng katawan mo with Comtech, and then isuot mo yung helmet. Well, literally, binanggit mo kanina, I am actually the coolest rider on the road right now. Because I have two of these, okay? So, when I ride, ito lang talagang helmet na ginagamit ko. Okay, ngayon, kasi yung design ko right now, we're still waiting for the patents to come out, should come out within the next couple of weeks. Tapos, syempre, hindi pa kami nasa-certify, although we have a working prototype, 2 working prototypes already. Pagka yung scooter yung ginagamit ko, paikot-ikot lang, I actually use our own design kasi mas suited sa Pilipinas eh. Mas malamig siya kaysa dito sa imported.
And would it be more affordable?
We're targeting the mass market for the helmet kasi yung the principle of the mission of Comtech actually is to promote safety, encourage the use of safety gear by making it comfortable. Na-experience mo naman kanina, Iba, di ba? Nandun tayo sa non-air conditioned na garage, naka-jacket ka. Mas malamig.
Oo. It was more comfortable just wearing the jacket than taking it off. Pero binawi mo yung power bank mo eh.
Hindi kasama yun eh.
Hindi kasama yung power bank.
Hindi kasama yun eh.
Speaking of it, making it affordable for the masses.
5 volts yung jacket?
Yep.
USB siya, dude.
So, kung may USB charger yung bike mo,
Pwede.
Pwede mo ikabit.
So kung may USB charger yung bike mo tulad ng 390 Adventure tsaka 790 Adventure ng KTM.
Swak
Yeah,
yun,
nasa
sakto.
Ayun.
But with a 20,000 milliampere power bank, it will last for how many hours, Boyet?
8 hours. 6 to 8
6
hours.
or 8 hours, dude. That's
Ilan
more
yung
than enough for a daily ride.
Ilan yung ampere draw niya?
Well, yun ang ano namin binalance siya kasi typical di ba 2.1 amps ang ano. So, what we use is a DC boost converter to ano to kasi we're using off the shelf no customized fans pero yung motors are off the shelf pa. Okay, so this is actually the same fans that you're using, mga portable electric fans. But we got the best
Okay.
quality ones. Ano. Now, those
Ilan
things
ba yun?
run about yung top ano yata
Six?
yan top speed yata eh. So, ewan ko nagka 12 volts sila. Ay, hindi rin. Probably 9. Okay.
Okay.
Now,
So, kailangan mo nga ng boost.
ang design consideration ko kasi, number one, the jacket has to be usable off the motorcycle. Di ba? Kasi kung isasaksak mo lang sa 12 volt, malakas nga yung fan mo, pero pagbaba mo, mainit din. Di ba? Pangalawa, pagka nag-short circuit yung fan, sunog ka kasi you have the full power of the motorcycle electrical system going around your body.
Dama yung
So,
dama. Tsaka baka
by
masira pa yung bike.
Di ba? So by going with a DC boost converter and limiting our power, managing making do with what's available with 5 volts, 2.1 amps. Yun na lang minanage namin. And nandun yung benefit. You can use it off the bike. It's very safe. No way na masusunog ka.
Okay. Boost converter,
Oo.
tagal ko nang hindi naririnig yun.
Actually, when I was, I'm not an electrical engineer. I'm not, I was just looking for solutions. I found it in Lazada. I ordered the adjustable DC boost converter in Lazada.
Alam mo,
And when I found,
alam mo,
yeah.
daya, kasi hindi ako na nagtitihis kasi ako, gumagawa kami ng electric na jeepney. Boost talagang boost converter talaga yung tumatakbo talaga kami sa lahat ng auxiliaries namin sa boost converter. Tapos we had to DIY our own. So lumalabas ka sa Lazada parang, wow, 500 sa Lazada may nabibili na.
Boss, adjustable pa. Pwede mo ba i-vary yung output voltage?
Pwede siya mag-limit nga eh. O nga.
All right, before we go too deep into boost converters and variable voltages, let's move on to number 4. And this is kind of debatable because when we asked you guys, our viewers,
Nagsuntukan sa comments.
what do you wear underneath your jacket, right? And maybe Doc Rolly, you can chime in. Is it dry fit versus cotton? Is it long sleeves versus short sleeves? What should you wear underneath your jacket when you're riding?
Ako, komando.
Yung nga yung debate, i-present po natin yung debate, iba. Merong commando, which is yung ginagawa ni Bak. Meron yung nagda-dry fit sa loob, sinasabi na mas malamig. Meron naman iba, nagko-cotton shirt daw.
Then
Yeah.
ako,
So-
I use short sleeve shirts. See, Jolly always wears long sleeve shirts. So let's let Doc Rolly be the final judge and arbiter of this debate.
Si Melakino daw wetsuit.
Wait. Well, I might disappoint you. The way that our body cools down, is this way. No, when our body heats up, there are signals sent somewhere sa brain natin, no, and our sweat glands are activated, and they bring sweat to the skin. The skin. The sweat on the skin has to evaporate to give you that cooling effect because what makes it evaporate is the heat from the body, di ba pagka magbo-boil ka ng water para kailangan may heat para mag-evaporate. So that's basically how we cool our bodies, no? Now, with whether it's cotton or dry fit, sometimes or most of the time, it's a matter of preference. But now we have the benefit of these modern materials, such as the dry fit, which claims to wick out the sweat from our bodies, making the evaporation process faster. No, so for that reason, my preference would be these dry fit shirts. No? Now, I prefer long sleeves because it covers more of my body, and and therefore the cooling effect of these dry fit shirts, happens in more parts of our body. Now, the main source of heat actually in our body is the core, our body. No, it's not so much the heat, except that there's the organ, the brain, which is in the head, is quite sensitive to the to heat, and which is why it's important to also keep that cool. But most of the heat comes from our body, and then that's why if you can cover your body with this material, the dry fit for me, then it gives me better cooling.
All right.
Now,
So, mali ako, long sleeves, pero dry fit. That's the way to go. Tama, Doc?
that's my preference. Yeah, and most of this dry fit long sleeve shirts, kasi pag pumara ka naman, you can take off your jacket. They also afford protection from the sun, diba? Kasi
Yun.
you're covered with
May
Yun din yung
tanong,
ano eh, no?
si Nong.
Okay.
Sir, will
Yeah.
it be bad for us to wear a little soaking wet long sleeve dry fit shirt?
Not at all. And as a matter of fact, I sometimes encourage this. No, when you're riding anyway, you can wet your whole body, and soon enough, you'll get dry because of the breeze that goes through your jacket. So, yun lang. That's why there's this disadvantage, sort of, with mesh jackets, because the airflow is greater and faster, so that yung evaporation process, the cooling process also is faster. And then pag wala ka ng sweat or water na binasa mo yung shirt mo, wala ka na ring sweat, the hot air doesn't coming from the outside really doesn't cool you. It actually might make you even warmer, no? Kung hot air without the benefit of water or sweat on your skin.
Matutuyo ka lang, no? Para ka pinaparan ng hair dryer.
Dehydrate ka na.
Well, dehydrated ka na nga eh. Yung lagay na yon. Kaya wala ka
Dahil
ng
hindi
sweat.
ka na nagpapawis.
Hindi ka napapawis, tapos may hot air pa coming from the outside.
Tutuyo
Lalong
ka na
iinit
lalo.
yung katawan mo. Hindi, tuyo ka na. Pero iinit yung katawan mo. More.
Yun
So-
yung problema rin no? Madalas sa bike eh. Kasi madalas tayong tumatakbo ng mabilis, so may airflow. So malamig yung perception natin sa balat eh. Pero minsan nakakalimutan talaga ng mga tao, matutuyo ka eh, porque hindi ka naiinitan.
Now, madami sabi, okay, we do water stops, no? Papara ka, iinom ng tubig, which is okay, but then also, this is one reason why I prefer camelbacks, no? Or yung meron kang bladder, because you can drink water, sip water, while riding, and you don't have to stop. Yung alam kung kakasya sa helmet mo.
We'll get into that
mouthpiece.
later. Para si Doc, advanced masyado eh.
Hindi naman.
Oy, ano pala, Iba, gusto kong bangkitin pala. Maganda yung maganda yung hoodie ni Jet Li.
Uy, dumating na.
Dry fit
Ha?
yung tela.
Ba't ikaw lang may ganyan?
Dry fit yung tela. Binigay ko nung Meron ka eh.
All
Padala ko
right.
sa'yo, Iba.
All right. So the other thing is, and you can get that on Lazada and Shopee. But Lazada na lang.
Oo,
Gamitin mo yung tunay na rider
66.
promo code.
Maraming
Yun.
maraming discounts. Popost namin yung yung Lazada cheat sheet.
All right.
Ano?
Okay.
Number 5.
Number
Gear
five.
number 5.
Number 5, sunglasses.
Yun.
Ako ba yan?
Oo, ikaw yan.
Ikaw pumilit eh.
Yan. Ako napapansin ko kasi pag tirik ang araw, sobrang maliwanag, tendency mo mag-squint ka pag hindi ka naka-sunglass eh. So, dagdag pagod. Napapansin ko pag kunwari hindi ka gumagamit ng sunglass, mas mabilis ka mapagod habang nagra-ride.
Oo nga. At saka glare, yung galing sa sahig,
Yung glare.
nakakasilaw.
Isa pa yun.
So, delikado yun na sumlimilit vision mo. Pero, nakasubok na rin akong ganyan nung uso nga yung mga vintage, mga retro kalokohan na yan. Nag-shades ako. Araw-araw ako naka-shades na naka-open face helmet. May mga sunglass talagang walang kwenta pang motorsiklo eh. Doon ko na-realize na parang, kaya pala sobrang uso ng mga aviators ng 80s. Kasi yung aviator talagang ano talaga eh.
Malaki.
Sakto
Kita mo lahat
humirit
eh.
si Coach Mel. Kasi 80s, matanda na siya eh.
Hindi, instructor na siya noon.
Instructor ni Enrile yan eh.
Totoo ba yun, Coach Mel?
May-
Kung nagturo kay Enrile sumakay ng bike?
Ng T-Rex.
ng T-Rex. Alright, now,
Iba. Can I add something about sunglasses?
Yes, sir.
Other than just avoiding the glare of the sun, you can also protect your eyes from drying up, no? With actually glasses, no? Kasi yung wind nagda-dry rin ng eyes mo, and you may develop ano nga ba yung pterygium. We call it pterygium.
dial a friend.
My wife. Yeah, you can protect yourself from pterygium, which are parang scars sa eyeball pagka they get too
Sobrang
dry. Or too exposed to the elements.
Tapos may
sunglasses,
alikabok pa.
yun, lahat yan.
You know,
So,
one of the
aside from
reasons
just,
I wear
Go
these
ahead.
big glasses na walang gap dito is my eyes aren't that bad. But it's because when I ride every day, they're really like goggles, and they're yung anong tawag dito pag inarawan, nagiging dark.
transition.
Transition. They're kind of
High-tech yan,
pricey, pero I can't go around without these anymore. Kasi they're constant protection from stuff
Right.
like that.
Si Iba wala talagang grado yun eh. Pamporma ng shades na yun.
Kaya pala
Pang
walang
K-pop.
stress. Kasi
All right.
Ito, may tanong si Carlos Samson Iba tungkol sa mga gears din, no? Ba't wala daw
Ay,
usapang
kasama-
balls?
Kasama ba natin yan? Carlo, ang kulit eh. Pakita ko lang pero hindi ko babasahin. Para hindi
Pero
lalabas
Iba,
sa...
pero Iba sa totoo lang Iba medyo nakakaranas din ako ng ganyan eh. Lalo pag nabilad sa araw yung upuan mo.
Talaga?
ayan ang susunod na gagawin ni Boy.
Oh.
Meron na sa katawan, meron na sa ulo. O, pag available na yung sa ulo, ayun na yung next.
Actually, I had a prototype of that. Okay. Kasi talagang wala kang ibang paglalagyan. Maniwala ka. Saan mo ilalagay? Sa
support,
dipak? Ilalagay mo sa puwet, di ba?
Carlo,
Kaya
gusto
lang,
mo
ang
gamitin
problema
yung
lang doon.
prototype?
Boyet, si Carlo, ipag-testing natin ng prototype.
Alam mo yung tsura mo, para kasi Batman. Doon si Batman yun, si Joel Schumacher, yung director.
Pero, malamig.
Malamig.
Alright.
Definitely malamig. Well, actually,
Okay.
if you're wearing the jacket, it cools your body, it cools your core kasi your torso eh. Eh nandun halos lahat ng init ng katawan mo eh. So, you don't really feel the heat down there anymore.
Since we did
Yun.
talk about it, and it does seem like it is a challenge for many people here, let's get the medical opinion of Doc Rolly.
Ano yan?
According to Carlos Samson, he's asking, has anyone talked about balls yet? How does one protect them from the heat? May aftercare ba?
In a way, si Boyet was getting there, no? Kanina, when he mentioned that when you protect your torso, which is the core, the body, you're also protecting actually your arms, your head, your genitals, if that's the case, because most of the blood comes from the torso. So if you have cool blood coming from the torso, then it's cool blood that goes to the head, to the arms, to your genitals, wherever. Yun lang. Pero I don't know why you have to think of that while riding.
Okay. Boyet, you have to put that in your literature on your website. Comtech will cool your core and cool your balls. Dapat kasama na yata yun.
You know,
Kasi ano,
okay, ito ginagamit ko tayo. You know those mesh coverings for your sheet. They work. Yung ginagamit, I managed to get one for my big bike.
yung
Yung
parang
mesh yung
honeycomb.
ginagamit sa scooter. Yung honeycomb.
Oo.
Okay. All my bikes and scooters all have that. Oo, ang laking bagay. Laking bagay.
Alam mo, may nagbigay sa akin nung dati, nakalimutan ko na kung sino parang sa Inside Racing may booth sila. Binigyan niya ako parang, prototype namin to, pero sige, binigay sa akin. Yung material na ginagamit dun sa upuan na cover, na parang honeycomb, ginawang lining ng helmet. Tapos effective siya, malamig nga talaga.
Actually, that is one of the, yun yung isa sa mga features ito actually. They call this a tubular honeycomb. Yung liner nito, ganon. Parang ganon, mesh. Actually, yung mga tanong.
Alright, we'll go back to that kasi that's later pala in category the ride. So now, we're gonna be talking about. So initially we're talking about gear and balls. Now, Jolly, what's number 6?
Ayan, number 6, ito yung ito yung bane ni Iba kahapon eh. Sabi nga ni Doc Rolly, isang malaking factor sa pag-manage ng heat while riding is diet and exercise.
The
Sabi nga
reason
naman nila,
Jack is the one reading this kasi nobody will believe it when Buck and I ask about diet and exercise.
special mention pala kay Mark Nelson tsaka kay Gino. Pagkasama daw kayo ni Iba mag-ride, nagugutom daw kasi siya.
Hindi. Nahihiya lang kasi ako lang kumakain eh.
Meron bang mga ganun, Doc Rolly? Like, tayo pag nagra-ride tayo, sabihin natin siguro, mauuwi yun sa kape at saka tapsilog. Meron bang like foods that we need to avoid or foods na dapat kainin that can help or manage itong yung mga pagdating sa init ng katawan?
Yeah. What you want kasi first of all is di ba we go back to water in the body because that's where our sweat will come from, and water, as we all know, is generally needed by the body. So if you expect to go on a long ride on a hot summer day, you have to prepare your body. You have to hydrate, no? And there are some who encourage drinking as much water as you can the day before pa of your long ride. Ako naman, siguro mga 1 or 2 hours before, maybe you can finish a glass or 2 or even up to 1 liter of water. Huwag mo lang hadilin. Just to prepare you for the ride. And then, during the ride itself, you constantly hydrate yourself. Now, when it comes to food, there are foods that contain water, no? Such as fruits and vegetables. And, meat and sugary stuff, food, will help deplete your water because they take up a lot of water in metabolizing these products. So kung gusto mo maghanap ng medyo solid ba, something like that, no? Instead of fruits or vegetables, pwede siguro pasta or anything that's cooked in water, like oatmeal, pasta, or you just take soups during a ride.
Tinola.
Yan.
Ang baduy naman ng ride kung hindi ka pwede kumain
Bulalo.
ng karne. At saka,
Tama na yung mga tapsilog ride, Iba, spaghetti ride na yun bago papausin.
nga
Oily
eh.
food is
Oatmeal ride.
Oatmeal ride na tayo.
With
Hindi, pagka
kiwi
kakain ka
and blueberries.
Naawa naman ako kay Iba eh. Naawa naman ako kay Iba. So Iba, damihan mo na lang yung tubig.
Damihan ko na lang yung tubig.
Pero isa pa, no? Pagkainom ka ng tubig, wag mong i-gulp down, kunyari, isang bote ng isang litro ng You have to do it gradually. Among the things you have to avoid pala, aside from that, are soft drinks, of course, and coffee during rice.
Huh?
Because they have
Diuretic.
Diuretic effects.
Ako, dinadamihan ko
And,
na lang ng tubig.
Damihan mo tubig. Pero dahan-dahan lang kasi pagka nasobrahan naman, nabibigla, hindi rin mahusay yun, no?
Gamit ang aking
pwede-
KTM mag.
Available on Lazada.
Or KTM bottle. Para pa nag-off-road ka, di na tatapon, no?
No,
Tapos
pero
pala,
why?
there's
What's the logic
Yeah.
about not gulping and sipping the water?
No, I meant by
Malulunod ka,
gulping.
Iba.
Dadami ka agad yung tubig. No, in a way, that's true. No? Kasi, tawag nito, yung pwedeng pagka masyadong ma-overhydrate ka naman, okay, there's such a thing as hyponatremia. Yung mga minerals sa body mo, medyo madadilute masyado. So, lalabas na relatively konti yung potassium mo or yung calcium mo tsaka yung sodium mo.
That makes it
Pagka
worse.
masyado marami ka agad. That's why mas maganda yung sip, nagsisip ka lang. That's why sabi ko nga, with a Camelback, you can sip like every 10 minutes while riding. And then
Pero Doc,
that's better.
yung electrolyte replenishment, importante din, di ba? Ako, I usually bring a banana or two. Oo.
Oh, yun. We'll
Tama
get
yun.
into that in the
Ayun.
next,
Yun yung
the next
Ayun ba?
category.
Sorry.
Iba.
Oo.
Iba yung comment ni Nong. Pag too much water, mapaparami rin yung CR breaks natin.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yung mga nagre-ride kasama yung homeless, makaka-relate dito.
Maraming CR break yun.
And then,
Hydrated pag ganun.
prostatic problem na yon.
See, before we move on to the next category, which is what we do during the ride, Gino Rufino has demanded that I ask this question. Are the touring Comtech jackets with the airbag vest available na? Ano to?
Di ba nakita yon?
Hindi ko nakita.
Dali.
Okay.
Nako.
You'll see it here first, ha? And then I gotta tell Mark Song, thank you for the compliment. Parang pumapayat daw ako. Pero tama
Dehydrated lang yan.
Hindi, tama si Gino.
Baka dehydrated lang yan.
Tama si Gino, it's all about the facial hair. It's all about cutting it the right way para mukhang payat ako. Yun. All right.
Nakita na ni Gino to eh.
Uy, ano yan?
Airbag, integrated.
Adventure jacket na may integrated airbag and fans.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. I'm gonna solo layout.
Here's a CO2 cylinder. Okay, got two fans here.
Ganda!
Okay.
Mas
So pati
high-tech
yung
mas
neck mo
namin,
dito, this is plate. Nakita na ni Gino to, kaya this is under production right now. Kasi we're siguro within a month or two nandito na to.
next
Magkano
month.
yan?
Uy, soli ko na yung binili ko.
Binawi.
may return policy ba? Ano ba yung return
Way
policy?
cheaper than the most popular brands. Way cheaper. Okay. Pero our quality,
Sold.
this is 500D nylon. This is not polyester. 500D nylon.
Then gwapo, ang
Tibay.
ganda. Ganda.
Yeah.
All right, we gotta have you on the show again when that's ready to launch.
Gino, it's being manufactured right now. Give it a month or two, nandito na yan.
Dapat custom yung may custom na Gino Moto na na livery yung jacket.
Correct. Gino Moto Limited. Bibili ako nun.
Ang
Gino Moto.
lagay ganun lang. Gino, ang lagay, ganun lang ba yun?
Can I also say one of the reasons why I'm such a big fan of Comtech is they have small, medium, large, XL, and 6XL. So
And
kasya sa
and
akin.
and may iba.
XXL.
May iba L. All right. Now we've talked about gear. We've talked about your health. Now we're gonna talk about the ride. What are the things that you gotta do when you're on the ride? So number 7 is hydration. When I ride, with one of the tips that I got from one of our good friends, ni Doc Raleigh, si Doc Francis Gomez, is always bring these oral hydrite solutions. They're these little packets you can buy in Mercury or in any pharmacy, and you just pour the salts into a bottle of water or put it into your Camelback. You shake it around, and it does wonders. It helps you, and I don't know how it works, Doc Raleigh. So let's talk about keeping hydrated during the ride.
Well,
Doc?
those hydrite packs, by the way, you dissolve them. One pack, you dissolve it in about that small water
Bottle of water, yep.
about 250 ml of water. So they provide you with the necessary minerals that you tend to lose when oversweating, when you sweat. So they are replacement minerals. Now, which is why I also tell people when they're out, no, they don't have water and they have to buy sa mga 7-Eleven or like that, to look for mineral water. Hindi yung, kasi ang tawag natin sa bottled water, mineral water, pero actually distilled water yon, no? So meron talagang mineral water. Can we mention brands?
Yeah.
Like, ang tawag nito, yung Nature Spring, the blue, and then meron yatang, ano pa yun? Basta titingnan nyo, mineral water. And then you can look, meron talagang mga sodium, potassium, chlorine. And these are mineral waters. Hindi lahat ng nakabote. Although sinasabi, mineral water. Hindi yun lahat mineral.
Sa Pilipino kasi basta nakabote mineral water na yun.
Yeah, mineral.
Yung distilled sa ano yun sa radiator.
Hindi, pwede rin.
Hindi, may pang-inom din na distilled. Grabe ka naman.
Pwede. Kung kunyari meron ka kung distilled water lang available and you have these hydrite packets, then that's good kasi doon mo lalagay yung hydrite mo.
May tanong si Buck.
Meron daw siyang life hack dun sa mga hindi kaya mag-afford ng oral hydrite.
The oral hydrite thing is so tiny. They're like little tea bags. And they're like $20 a pop. All right? But if you can't afford, and it's so easy to just leave in your motorcycle, hindi sila napapanis. But Buck has a question.
What happened?
Si Boyet, hindi yan si Bak.
Hindi yan si Bak.
Ayun si Buck. Buck.
Doc, kasi dati, ginagawa namin pag umaakit ng bundok, may nagdadala lang kami ng asin tapos nilalagay lang namin sa dila every now and then.
Pwede rin. Kasi sodium chloride yun, di ba? Sodium, ano ba yung mga...
Legit yung ginagawa namin.
Sodium, chloride, potassium, magnesium yata. Meron pa bang iba? Ewan ko na, no? Pero those are okay. Kaya lang, mabuti rin iinom ka, no?
Sabayan mo ng
kasi
tubig.
Kasi mamaya, puro asin na yan.
Didehydrate ako, teka lang, asin lang una ako.
Madi-dehydrate ka lalo pagka puro asin lang.
Labas mo dyan, tinapa.
And the other thing that you should have, especially if it's one of those long, hot rides, is a Camelback. And there are some tricks that we would do before. I would fill it 1/3 of the way full, and I'd leave it in the freezer. And then when I ride the next day, I'd fill it up with water. But then Buck came up with a brilliant solution, which is less hassle, which is just put ice in your Camelback and then fill it.
Hindi ka kaya diyan ka magka-pulmonya na sobrang lamig ng likod mo.
Nah.
No.
Actually, hindi. Pampalamig nga yun ng likod eh.
Oh,
Uy!
Hindi naman ano.
Na-save
give
na ako
you-
ng camelback dati Sumemplang ako. Nahulog ako. Kaya wala na akong camelback kasi sumemplang ako, puno ng tubig yung likod ko. It's
Sumabog.
parang water balloon. Ganun ko. Parang, uy, lambot.
Okay.
kung yelo yun, baka namatay na ako.
I'll give you
Baka nabalian
one tip. Before, sobrang akong Coke addict.
ako
And
din.
I put Coke
Ako din.
in my camelback.
Patay
And
ka.
then I was riding.
Si Doc Rolly
Nakasingit sa helmet ko. And, it was the first time I used the camelback. So I was like, all right. I bit into it. Pucha,
Pumutok yun.
because it went out my nose. Muntik ako ma-accident. As in literally, kasi
Yeah.
expand
Pressure.
yung Coke. It was
Iba.
horrible. So never
Masarap ka?
put... No. Never put soft drinks in your camelback. Now I just drink water. But yeah, it's only for water and yung mga oral hydride stuff. Ngayon, Doc, what about yung mga Gatorade, yung mga Pocari Sweat, yung mga ganon? Do those help?
Iba. Si Coach Mel, maganda yung comment May electrolytes ba ang beer? Kasi beer daw nilalagay niya sa camelback niya.
Merong carbohydrates yun. Okay yun. Kaya lang,
Liquid
alcohol
bread
is
yun eh.
alcohol is a no-no also because
Nagde-dehydrate din yun.
Mm.
Mm.
What we're asking, Gatorade. Ang
Saka
Gatorade,
unlawful.
Yung mga Gatorade, yung mga energy drinks,
Mga
not
sports
energy
drink.
drinks, but yung mga sports drinks. What do you think of those, Doc?
generally these sports drinks provide you with energy in the form of sugars. Kaya not really ako if I have to drink if I want to drink Gatorade sa labas, ida-dilute ko. Siguro at least
Alright.
half half water and half Gatorade. Now yung mga energy drink like Red Bull, Monster, no yan kasi caffeine yan. Okay? Yung Pocari Sweat, I found out that maganda yata yung yung mixture niya of
Yan ang ginagamit ko, Doc.
It kind of tastes like the oral hydride solution, actually.
yeah.
Like a
Medyo
better
matamis
tasting
lang.
oral hydride.
Lasang matamis sa pawis.
Oh. Japanese pa. Japanese.
Kaya nga po, Pocari Sweat. Ano ko ba?
So,
All
okay
right. So number 8. What do you do in the ride? What do you eat? What are your recommendations, Doc? And we talked
ba
about it a
napag-usapan
little
na
bit
natin?
earlier. We jumped ahead. Pero
Hindi,
we were
yung,
like,
yung what to eat kasi, may theory si Buck sa pagka-climatize daw. Para daw masana yung katawan mo sa init. Pag mainit ng panahon, inom ka ng mainit na kape. Pag malamig yung panahon, kain ka ice cream. Totoo ba
yun
yan?
ang theory ni Buck.
Okay.
And
Kung kumain ka
like
ng ice
bananas. So Richard Bolt is asking, why do bananas help to stop dehydration? The
Iba
potassium?
hindi lang bananas. Meron din sinabi si Richard Bolt earlier, tsaka yung pinsan ko, buko juice.
Yeah.
Go
Well,
go natural. Buko juice at tsaka bananas.
Yung banana, they provide potassium. And it's not really for dehydration. And for dehydration, tubig talaga, no? Yung nga lang when we sweat a lot, when we lose our natural water reserves in the body, we lose potassium with it. And that's why we need to replace that. And banana is a good source of potassium. Especially if you eat the peel. Pati balat kainin mo para
Kainin mo yung balat, Buck.
Oh.
All right. Si Joseph Yaranon is saying jelly ace pag nagutom sa trail.
Sugar
Sukal.
rin yun.
Energy. Oh.
Pwede rin. Sugar.
All right. And then finally, for number 9 is when I ride, lalo na yung mga long hot rides during summer, like going up to Vegan, we would stop every hour and a half to rehydrate, to to check ourselves, check if we're physically okay, cool down, etc., etc. What do you think of that, guys?
Good idea. That's a good strategy.
Ako, every
right.
lunch stop, I take a sip of water from my bottle.
Pero
And
kasi
just
iba
by-
yung problema dito, may mga lugar sa Pilipinas na medyo, hazardous sa health. Huminto at
Yeah.
certain times.
Yeah.
Hindi naman.
Pero
Di naman,
that's,
hour and a half.
More fun in Philippines kaya. Ang friendly ng mga tao.
Agree.
Pero iba, that's a good strategy when riding, because even though you might say that hindi ka naman nakakapagod din mag-ride, no? Miski akala mo wala ka masyadong movement, nakakapagod 'yon. And especially pag mainit, there's such a thing as heat cramps na tinatawag, no? This is the early stage of heat illness, no? Heat cramps muna, wherein you get stiff muscles and you sweat a lot, and you have to remedy that, no? By stretching and drinking. And yun na nga, sometimes you don't notice it, but napapagod rin tayo. Minsan na-realize yun lang pagka nakauwi na kayo. Or pag tumigil ka, pagod pala
Pahinga
ako.
na.
But while riding, hindi mo na nararamdaman yon. So that's a good strategy.
Your good friend Gilly is saying spicy food para mapawisan.
Bicolano ba si Gili?
Hindi. Teka, nasa yun. Spicy food. Yeah, pero pwede rin. Pero again, kailangan mo yung tubig. Baka wala ka ng tubig sa katawan, and then kakain ka ng sili.
Sili.
Hindi ka
Kasi
papawisan.
baka
Hindi ka
sasasin.
Pero wala ka rin Remember, the basic ingredient needed is water talaga.
Water talaga.
Actually, you can perspire by eating food, by getting nervous, di ba? O by minsan nasa air conditioned room ka na, papawisan ka pa rin kung ninenervous ka. So per se, hindi sweating lang per se, kailangan meron kang isi-sweat. At kaya kumain ka ng spicy food pero wala kang tubig, hindi ka papawisan. Mamumula ka pero hindi ka papawisan.
Alam mo, na-imagine ko na iba yung parang ideal riding food din. No? So dapat maanghang, maalat, may saging. May maraming tubig.
Blender mo lahat.
Tubig is the way to go.
Tapos may ice cubes. Pero
ito
ang
ngayon.
pinaka-importante pa rin dyan, ang ating
Number
10 ay ang patience.
Bakit patience? Ang labo mo
State of
naman,
mind.
Mac.
Oo nga,
Kailangan
tapos
mo
sa'yo,
ng
nagpa-pray
pasensya
ka.
sa habang bumabiyahe. Lalo na kung matraffic. Kung wala kang patience, magro-road rage kayo niyan.
Dapat malamig ulo mo.
Oo. Kaya nga
Dapat
cool.
meron ka ng aircon na helmet.
No, because pag mainit, alam mo, pag sobrang pagod na, sobrang init, I ride more recklessly. I ride faster. I take more risks. So sobrang malaking bagay talaga yung state of mind. So if you have to have patience when you're riding in this kind of weather.
Alam mo, in hindsight tuloy, may mga ibang motor talaga na may init sa paa, di ba? Tapos parang karamihan ng mga motor na yun, mabibilis. Mabilis ba yung motor dahil mabilis ang makina or mabilis yung motor kasi mainit ng paa mo tapos gusto mo na umuwi?
Pareho yun. Kaya
By
doon
the way,
madami kamote kasi mangiinit na mga ulo nyo eh.
By the way, how do you
Actually,
know if you're... Go ahead,
Good.
Boyet. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Doc. Go ahead, please.
No, I was going to ask if you guys know, how do you know if you're already overheating?
How?
Yung
Road rage.
phases of yung ng heat illness, no? I mentioned earlier yung heat cramps. Okay? That's when you have muscle stiffness and sweating. Ano yun?
Ano yun? Iba na
Okay.
yun.
And
Muntik na yun.
with Ewan ko. Ewan ko.
No comment. Oh, nagalit.
Nawala si Doc.
Nagalit. Nawala.
Nag-comment si Ruel Marana, no? How about power or protein bars? Tingin ko same pa rin yung sabi ni Doc
Okay,
Rolly.
let's ask Doc Rolly. Sorry, Doc Rolly, continue. Pero afterwards, may comment rin si Ruel.
Power bars, yun ba yan? Teka, where was I?
Heat cramps.
Yung phases of
Stages.
heat illness, yeah. First was heat cramps. Because actually you should wait for these stages to set in before you drink water, no? Pagka meron ka ng mga ganito, chances are you're already dehydrated or at least starting to dehydrate. So, heat cramps. And then next to that is yung tinatawag na heat exhaustion. With heat exhaustion, you sweat more profusely. Your skin becomes clammy, okay? Cold, hindi mainit nga eh. Malamig yung skin mo because nagsasara na yung blood vessels. Then you get confused. You might feel nauseated or dizzy, okay? And pagka ganito, you really have to you stop, you go to the shade, cool down by drinking water and even wetting your body. Now, the severe heat illness is called heat stroke. Yun yung you're not sweating anymore, okay? Your body and your skin is red and hot, okay? Your pulse rate is very high. You might go into coma or loss of consciousness. And ano pa, mga ganon, medyo severe na. Pagka ganon, hospital na, 911. But try not to get into any of those phases. So, medyo, kunyari, if you feel your mouth dry, or sabi nga nila, pag bumabaho na yung hininga mo, kasi dry na no? Then, chances are you start to drink na. I mean, you're starting to get dehydrated, so you better drink before that happens.
Pakasin ko, kaya maraming kamote siya dito sa Maynila. Comatose na.
Siguro.
Or
Siguro
baka nasa heat exhaustion na sila, confused na sila.
Confused.
Oo.
Pwede rin genetics.
Alam mo, actually, when we were analyzing yung di ba, sabi nga, our advocacy actually is to promote safety by making safety gear comfortable. Kasi yung naging observation ko, yung frustration ko when I was riding ulit, ang kukulit ng mga riders, kaliwa kanan, harap ko, singit ng singit, di ba? So, when we were analyzing it, when I started riding again, I realized, kaya pala ang singit ng singit ng mga ito, ayaw tumigil. Kasi oras na tumigil ka, the air stops flowing around your body, ang init.
Gusto mong gumalaw lagi.
Mainit katawan mo, mainit ulo mo, nagmamadali ka talaga palagi, di ba? Yung isang observation namin about yung init talaga, iba yan iba effect sa atin yan
Tingin ko
Ito,
tayo
sabi
hardwired talaga tayo na umiwas sa init talaga.
Sabi ni Zupla dito, Gidko.
Gidko.
Thirst is the earliest sign of dehydration. Don't wait for heat cramps.
Don't even wait to get thirsty. Yun na nga When you're thirsty, that's already the body signaling to you that kulang ka na sa tubig.
Pero alam mo, I think a useful skill na dapat nating matutukan, yung i-regulate natin yung fluid intake natin. Na ano, kasi pag sumobra ang input, ang intake mo, okay, you have to go to the bathroom more often. Pero pagka na-calibrate mo na maayos, you can actually complete the whole ride without having to go to the bathroom because you are drinking as much as you're sweating. Try it.
Ah.
Try it. You'll actually have to drink a little less than what you're used to. Okay, just enough to replenish what you're losing. You'll be surprised at how long you can go without having to take a bathroom break by simply controlling the amount of water you're drinking.
You know, that's a really interesting point because pag nasa bahay ako, inom ako ng inom. Inom ako ng kape, inom ako ng tubig because it's so easy. It's so accessible. And banyo ako ng banyo. But when I'm on a ride or when I'm out, it's much, much less because you don't have that kind of access. Diba? That's an interesting point. What do you think about that, Doc?
Or you're getting dehydrated. You don't get the urge because there's nothing to evacuate, no? Baka dehydrated ka.
Ano naman, Doc, na wala naman deterioration kasi yun nga, I just calibrate it every time we stop pagka actually kahit na pag medyo matagal yung stretch, like you're doing a vehicle stretch, well actually I'll probably take 2 or 3 gulps of water and that would be it. I continue. Wala naman, maybe it's just I'm used to doing that na because I hate having to stop, naka full gear ka, magba-bathroom break ka, hassle, di ba? So what I do actually is, di ba?
That
So what I
yan
do
ang
is,
invention mo.
Well, actually, I agree with you, Boyet, no? Kasi, well, in your case, na-train mo na yung sarili mo, no? But many of us here are not trained to calibrate their intake with their output. So, if you've
be on the safe
perfected
side,
it, then,
right?
yeah, good for you, no? Kaya okay lang.
But for general people who are watching this, looking for tips on riding in the heat, they probably don't know their bodies as well. Like ako, I don't have that skill. It's better to be safe than to be
Oh
sorry.
yeah, agree, definitely.
Oh, yan, yung point ni
dalawa.
Melapino. Okay
And
yan.
then pati
Si
si
Mel,
Ruel.
Tama yun.
Yun.
Indication of dehydration.
Puti daw. Yep, that's correct. Di ba?
Correct. Well, our normal urine is just a little yellow, di ba?
Little hint of yellow.
Yeah.
Doc Rolly, sabi ni
Pagka
Richard Bolt, paano pag orange siya daw?
Wala yan. Dehydrated na yan. Nasusunog na nga yan.
Ihi ko may glitters eh.
Hindi mo kailangan ng tubig. Kailangan mo ng doktor.
Kidney stones yun, pare.
And then, may bonus tip tayo. Bak.
A bonus tip natin is brought to you by Ogawa. After a long day of ride, kailangan mag-relax ka sa bahay mo using your Ogawa massage chair.
Yun. Maraming
Diba?
salamat,
Tapos,
Ogawa.
Umiinom ka ng buko juice na may yellow or meron kang banana shake. Para kompleto.
Iba, I think may si Ruel kanina, di ba?
Yep.
About
Yung mga
yung
protein bars.
Oh, yun.
Energy bars. Yun.
What about protein bars?
Oh.
Power or protein bars?
They're okay. They're made mostly of nuts, which are high in protein, and sometimes may sugar rin. So, pagkain yan, okay? And
Energy.
for energy, yan. Kailangan mo pa rin. Tubig pa rin.
Tubig pa rin. Basta tubig.
Tubig pa rin.
And Ogawa.
Oo. Alam mo, na-realize ko, ang galing ng KTM, dun sa bote nilang pinadala sa akin. May icon sa likod, wag daw lalagyan ng beer.
Oh, safe riding.
Safe riding.
All right. Again, we're so grateful to have 2 experts here. We've got Doc Rolly talking about the medical benefits. Thanks, Doc Rolly. And Boyet talking about thermodynamics. Doc, is there any last words of wisdom you want to share?
Tubig pa rin.
Tubig pa
Tubig pa
rin.
rin.
Tubig pa rin. Well, ride safe, everybody. And hydration, keeping cool is just actually one way of riding safe. Madami pa yan, ha?
Yun.
Keeping cool.
Nako, Iba. Alam mo, Iba, speaking of experts, balita ko, sobrang lupit daw na expert ang...
Wait. And Boyet,
Ay.
do you have anything you want to share? Where can people check out Comtech? Your new projects? Did
May Lazada
Carlo
ba sa
inspire you to
May
make
Comtech ba sa
something
Lazada?
for ano?
Meron.
Ayun!
We Contact is on Lazada, we're on Shopee, and in Contact ACS, our website, and yung Facebook page namin, just look for Contact. It will actually, if you click there, diretso ka sa store namin.
Yun.
We're on
Yeah.
in Overdose. Napuntahan mo sa Overdose? Ha?
Overdose.
Nahandaan ko ng helmet.
Choto ko.
Napadaan ka ba back kay Overdose? Kay ODM?
Kanina, pero di ako bumaba. Mainit
Ganon.
Wala ka
Wala
pang
ka pa kasi.
jacket.
Wala pang jacket
And
kasi.
ikaw minto,
Wala
hindi
pa
wala kang jacket. Well, actually, yun nga, keeping cool. Yun naman ang ano namin, yun naman talagang ang reason for being namin okay. Promoting safety by making it more comfortable. Yun nga, and the greatest source of discomfort sa ating mga riders actually the heat. Anyway, I'm sorry, pero Contact is the only jacket in the market right now that one will keep you cool, will keep you warm if you're cold. It will keep you cool if you're feeling hot, and it will keep you dry if it's wet. Kasi kumpleto yung jacket, is actually the only jacket that you need. Paring winter conditions. Pero para sa atin, ako hindi na ako nagdadala ng rain gear ngayon. That's the only jacket I wear.
Yun na rin.
Yun.
Galing.
Ay, Sir Boyet, ano pala, si Mel Aquino may tinatanong, kailangan niyo daw ba ng model?
Ha?
Kailangan niyo daw ba ng model?
Alam mo,
Actually,
si Coach Mel,
nakaschedule ako
Mr. Pogi
mag-lesson kay
yan.
Mel Ha?
Mr. Pogi,
sige.
contestant yan.
Pinabigay lang ni
Di ba-
Sir Gonzales.
Pagkatapos ko kay Joey, I'll go to I'll be enrolling in Mel at Mel siya at Mel School naman.
Yun.
You talk about safety, Doc, sabi mo, di ba? Ayun nga, sabi ko, yung gear mo isa yan, okay? Yung bike mo isa yan. Yung skill set mo napaka-importante niyan. So ako I'm a firm
Skills.
believer in training palagi. So yun nga, so after when I got my bike, I went to Honda Big Bike School. I watched a lot of videos. Tapos I enrolled with Joey Storm. Ang next ko, I'll be enrolling with Mel Aquino naman. Di ba? Kasi,
Yun.
totoo lang. Di ba? Well, yun nga,
Tama yan.
parang,
Tama yan.
yun, your bike, your skill set, and the road. Hi, Joey. How are you?
Yun.
Pwede ba sila mag-train dito sa Iloilo?
No, we were actually talking about that in our last show. And
Remote daw siya.
si Zupla dito, Gidko, was
Yeah.
asking if Joey would be going to Iloilo. And sabi ni Joey, after the lockdown, when travel is a lot easier, he does do training there.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Doon na lang tayo mag-training iba para mapunta natin si Doc Rolly.
Alam mo, yung last trip ko was to visit sila
Hindi
Doc Rolly.
Hindi tayo magti-training dito pag...
Kakain lang tayo.
Kakain
Hindi tayo
lang.
mag-ride. Kakain lang tayo.
Oh, si Mel Aquino daw, pasya daw siya Iloilo.
Oh, game.
Oh,
Ano yan?
off-road training in Iloilo.
Sige, we'll wait
Yung
for him.
Yan.
Speaking of off-road,
And
Jolly.
experts. Speaking of off-road and experts, international star yung next guest natin. Nako, tinan mo. Tropa mo yung iba, di ba? Ano nga ba pangalan niya?
si Richard Chicani, aka Rich Enduro. Man, this guy's ridden hardcore all over the world, and he is our next guest on Tunay na Rider.
Wow.
Yun, no? Makikita natin si Bak mag-i-English ng isang oras.
Gusto mo mag-Spanish pa ako.
Pwede.
Brand ambassador siya ng KTM, di ba?
I think when he was riding in Latin America, in Chile, yata, that's when he was representing KTM. But he's here in the Philippines now, and you guys got to check out his site if you want to get into hardcore enduro.
Hindi lang ano, no?
Because
Parang hindi pa ba
it's
hardcore yung
ridiculous.
enduro? Lang pala ng hardcore. Parang hardcore na yun, ah.
Hyper
Yep.
hardcore.
Hyper
Yun.
hardcore super enduro. So that's our next show on Tunay na Rider. And magkwento na kayo.
Ayun.
Otterbox, Pop Socket, Mr.
Thank-
Speedy. Moto Lason Club.
Uy, Dante, ba't sila may t-shirt? Ako wala.
Thanks to KTM. You can check them out. I'm sure they have great deals on Lazada 66. And obviously,
Ogawa.
after every long ride, Ogawa.
Hard ride, relax later.
And next
mali.
week,
Next week. Go.
oh yeah, no. Thanks Podcast Network Asia. Without these guys, we wouldn't be here.
May kumakain na.
Oh, kain na tayo. See you next week.